Although with scientific advances, I'm very hopeful that a person could make a remarkable recovery from a brain injury. Oftentimes, there are differences between how they were before the injury and how they were afterwards. So there's an enormous amount of coping and adjustment that needs to take place in acclimating to that new normal.
I have some friends who experienced traumatic brain injury, and the difference between the person before and the person after is like night and day. It's two separate people. And the new normal is accepting and understanding who your friend is now as opposed to who they were.
I spent a lot of time trying to be who I used to be, and the fact is I'm not. This changed our lives enormously. The kids have had to adapt, and Joel's had to adapt, and everybody's done a good job, but it's cost. It's hard to learn.
We've just started in the last month or so being able to, where George has been strong enough medically that we can take him back out into the community. And that has felt so good to go back to some of the places where he was active before and people remember him from before. It helps the whole family kind of normalize this new weird situation that we're in.
It's not, it's just different. It's just different. There are very exciting parts, like certainly as things start waking up and he's able to do more, and that's really exciting, you know? So, you know, it's just new, right?
Yeah. There are a lot of new techniques that you can take advantage of, and a lot of these have to do with smartphone or computer apps that you can use. So for example, if you are having trouble remembering things, you can use like a note-taking app, whether it's like written or like a dictation kind of thing. You can also use like an online kind of shared calendar where you can share your appointments with your friends and family to make sure that you're always in communication about where you are. Kind of down a little bit of a different path. There are like a lot of new therapies, aqua therapy, horse and animal therapy, massage therapy, acupuncture, a lot of things like that that are really designed to be something different from the everyday and to like maintain a higher quality of life.
There are several co-occurring conditions that a person could experience following a brain injury. Things like anxiety, depression, anger management problems, alcohol and drug abuse, other kinds of emotional dysregulation, or a lack of will to participate in life activities. Sometimes those things that I mentioned can be exaggerations of characteristics that an individual had before their brain injury, or they could be brand new.
You know, we can be just laughing all of a sudden, something will flare up or something. She's kind of like she's programmed.
I'm obsessive compulsive.
Yes, and that's enhanced since her brain injury. Just a snap of your finger and the anxiety will happen. And she knows, she's aware of it. But then she can't actually help it until she's already into that. And then she apologizes all over herself, once that it's happened.
It's hard sometimes, especially as I'm tired and I'm stressed and I'm like in a hurry because I've got to get here or there or whatever. I sometimes have to kind of stop and back up and remind myself like, wow, how far we've come and what an incredible person he is to even be able to go through it.
I know a lot of caregivers, they provide care often, around the clock, but there's nobody ever there to care for them, and that becomes stressful at times. A great way to make sure that family members are caring for their own well-being, perhaps the use of support groups, families of people who also have acquired brain injury, even traumatic. Church could be another way. Online communities, marital and family counseling, and even individual counseling.
We had several months after we came home where we didn't have any help and any respite, and days, weeks would go by where I actually couldn't leave the house. And so I was about to go crazy. So it would have been impossible to keep up that pace, and mentally I would have been completely exhausted if I hadn't gotten some help pretty fast.
Brain injury just doesn't occur to the individual who suffered the injury. It occurs to the whole family system. So getting support for coping for the entire family is absolutely important so that the whole family system doesn't cave in as a result of this stress and trauma.
You've got to have somebody going through it with you, I think. I don't know, I think it would be really hard to do it alone.
Fighting isolation will lead to a better quality of life. Making sure that people, whether we're stuck at home or we're out in the community, that people are interacting with him. And of course that helps me and our family as well to have that social interaction that contributes enormously to quality of life.
What I've really experienced in my time working with individuals with brain injury is appreciating the resiliency of human beings to change and find redeeming value in a brain injury rather than seeing it as an end or a categorical loss.
I always said I was a person with a disability. I wasn't a disabled person. In my head, the way I phrased it meant to me that I was still a whole person intending to live a full life.
It's a long road, but hang on, because you will get better.
Being a caregiver doesn't mean you have to navigate this maze alone. With the right supports and the right coping mechanisms, you can go on to live a rich life with your loved one.